Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the USO. Today is Friday the 13th on June 2014. This video is an impromptu video number 12, and it's being shot over at the Grafenwehr USO. I was supposed to be teaching a class today on everything that I've been posting up here on YouTube. However, in lieu of nobody showing up, I have been allowed access to one of the bright and shiny new Xbox 360 Type E, or Super Slim as it has been nicknamed. Now then, in this video I'm going to be detailing how to take it apart, clean it, and perform the 12-volt fan mod and then put it all back together again. Now then, first things first though, please take notice. The Xbox 360 Type E, which is the Generation 3, and also the Type S, which is the Generation Type 2, respectively the Super Slim, which is this guy right here, and the Slim, which is this guy right here, both take the exact same hard drive type. Here's the Slim. Ta-da. Let's go ahead and set that aside for now. And then here's the Super Slim. It's up here in the corner. You hook it with your thumb and then very gently pull forward or just let it fall off. Here's the hard drive. Ta-da. Slides right in, just like that. Now let's get that panel up off the floor. Snap that back into place to show you. It's perfect. It's beautiful. It is sublime. Now, first step in opening the Xbox 360 Type E, or Super Slim, is to release a number of clips on the case that are located, let's see, I believe they are here, here, and here. So, what you do is, you actually come around here and you take a metal spudger or a pushing implement of some type that will not damage the case. If you choose to use an old credit card, that'll work perfectly, but I like to use my little metal flathead here. It's just a wedge. Now then, we go ahead and start here, and we just gently come in here between the seam and push. That releases clip number one, and we come over here along the seam and we push gently. Can be a little bit tricky. Gotta make sure that you get that. It can be a pain in the neck to try and maintain the two parts aside from each other, and there it is. Once you've released one side, you just pull straight up, and the other one releases perfectly. There's that. Now then, take it, flip it over to the top, perform the same function. Come in with your spudger and gently but firmly press in, and your clips are going to be here, here, and here. So we press in on the case, gently but firmly until we feel it release. Work your fingernails in under there, so hold it up, because that thing's tricky and it wants to pop back down. Press in there with that one. Get in there with your fingertips. Remember, it's going to want to try and pop back down on you. And there we go. Releases the other side, and there it is. Perfect and sublime. Alright. Now then, next we have the networking card up top. Go ahead and take our nice trusty T10 screwdriver. Get in there and just twist that screw. Remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And then once you can feel the screw skipping in place, meaning that it's completely released. You gently but firmly grip on the card itself and pull up while maintaining the screw in position using the screwdriver. Release the screwdriver and make sure that you don't lose that screw. Go ahead and set that aside. Next, to release the next portion of the case, immediately behind that networking card is a big old clip right there. Come with our spudger or a flathead screwdriver. Just lift it, pry it, tuck it out on the outside of the case, like so. Nice and gentle. Don't get too overzealous because we don't want to break the plastic. Now then, on the bottom here it's a little bit more tricky because we've got a clip that comes up just above the power port and hooks in right there, okay? So what we have to do is we have to gently come in, we have to look in there first. I'm going to go ahead and show it to the camera, but I don't know if it's going to show very well, but it's right up in here. So we come in here, screwdriver, lift that, and then we kind of pry it away a bit. It should release. Looks like it has. Nope. All right, let's try that again. Nobody's perfect. Alright, there we go. Clip one released, and then we press here. And pops right off. There's clip two, and there's the top panel. Or the bottom panel, I should say. Set that aside, and now we've got a familiar sight. Big old black screws. We've got 5 of them, just like on the 360 Type S. And we come in here with our trusty T10 screwdriver. Just twist them out. Let me correct myself, I forgot a step. This is only the second time that I've performed this dismantle. Right up here, see this nice circular bit right here, the circular thing? Releases the DVD drive forward. So what we do is we go ahead and jimmy the drive open like so. Now the reason why we do that is because Microsoft got nice and sneaky with their design this time. So it's actually harder to get the front panel off. And actually, in truth, you can go ahead and you can release that before or after you take out the screws, doesn't really matter. My phone is going off, and I don't recognize that number. Okie dokie, so, yep, we're back now. Apologize for the break there. Had to take that phone call. Alright, now then. So we go ahead and we pull out these 5 big old black screws here, like so, using a T10 screwdriver. Probably mentioned that before the break there. But I felt that it was worth mentioning again. Remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So, twisting it to the right, we'll tighten it. Twisting it to the left, we'll loosen it. Now then, once we've done that... Oh, and please take note. This is the only time I'm going to be able to shoot a video using an Xbox 360 Super Slim or Type E, okay? A Generation 3 Xbox 360. So, Super Slim, Type E, and Generation 3 are all the same box, okay? They're all different names for the same thing. This is the only time I'm going to be able to shoot this video. I'm going to try and get everything in this video. If I can't, then I apologize. I'm not going to be taking apart the DVD drive. Forgive me for that. You're going to have to go somewhere else for that one because, again, this is a brand new box. And I just voided the warranty on it by pulling it apart. Okay? So, hope you appreciate that. Moving right along. Oh, this one's never been fired up either. So, surgery before it's even born, right? Okay, moving right along. So, before I got on the phone there, we had to jimmy the drive open, okay, by hitting this yellow, by taking what is it? I've got a safety pin here that I filed the point off on, and I'll just go ahead and stick it in there, and it hits the mechanism to jimmy the drive open. Now we go ahead and pull it out just a little bit, because Microsoft got really sneaky. Really quite cleverly sneaky. And to get this thing off, we have to gently release these clips by tilting this guy upwards. I'll show this to you. So we tilt this upwards, pull forwards just a tad, and then we can get the lid off. Set that aside. Now to get the front off, if you'll notice, the case itself actually has a part that will go behind this tab here, this portion of the DVD tray. So what we do is we loosen the tray out a bit, and then gently come around by hooking behind the head here, shifting it this way, and then forward this way, and then it comes right down this way. Now then, to release the ribbon cable, it's just a little bit of sticky right there. Sorry. A little bit of sticky right here, and we just gently pull up on it, and it'll come right off. And then there's this interesting little connector here that we have to go ahead and come in here with a tiny screwdriver and pop it right up. And we pull, and it releases. Too easy. Now then, on the inside, you'll notice this little circuit board. This is the board that turns the console on and off, and also tells the DVD tray to open and close. So, we're not going to take this out, because honestly, the most you'd have to do here, after you've opened this up and gotten this released, is just take your canned air. Done. Clean. And then we go ahead and set that aside. Next, we go ahead and close the DVD drive. Gently but firmly close it. And then we lift it up out of its place. Notice the plugs that are plugged into it here in the back. And gently but firmly grip plug number 1, which is going to be blue and black. And we pull it gently but firmly out. And it will release, and then the one with the multitude of cords. And gently but firmly grip and pull, and that releases the drive. Now then, once the drive is released, we go ahead and set that aside. Now, we've got this right here. This is the hard drive SATA connector, or serial ATA connector. All we do is come in with our trusty T10, and we go righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Take that bolt right on out. There it is. Set that aside where we're not going to lose it, because it is very important. If we lose that, we're kind of screwed. Not in a fun way. Now then, to get the rest of the DVD tray out, what we need to do is release the bolts on it. Bolt number 1 is right here. You've got your power connector and a bolt right here. And we just come in with our trusty T10, twist it on out. Just remember, it's twisted on out, not twist and shout. Twisting and shouting, people might call the police or the MPs. And, you know, you don't want to have to explain that one because, well, it's kind of pointless. But anyway. Bolt number 2 is actually right here. We look for a plastic peg here, right there, and then bolt right there. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, twist it out. Make sure we grab that bolt gently, pull it out, set it where we're not going to lose it, and then set the system back down. Grab gently here on the plastic, and lift it right on out. Now, I've actually forgotten something. A design difference between this one and the S is that you need to take out the fan cowling first. The fan cowling releases very gently, very easily, all you have to do is grip here underneath this portion, grip here at the corner, and lift. Don't rip it out, just gently pull straight up. The reason being is because it's held in place by a series of foam sponges. Now then, once we've got that out, now we can come back in here, grip on the side of the hard drive bay, and then again over here on the plastic post, and then lift straight up. And there it is. And we go ahead and set that aside. Now then, with all of these parts out, we're not actually going to take out the fan unless the fan is super dusty, but just be aware the fan has 2 screws. Screw number 1 up here in this corner, screw number 2 down here in this corner, all right? If it's dirty, and when I say dirty, I mean caked with dust, then you will go ahead and take it out, hit it with canned air, hit it with alcohol-soaked Q-tips. When I say alcohol-soaked Q-tips, I mean isopropyl alcohol. And that'll be the end of that. Just scrub it, get it clean, and then put it right back down on there. Just make sure that you get the alignment correct, because taking this fan off and putting it back on the 360S it's tricky, on the E it's probably just as tricky. So if you can avoid having to pull this fan off at all, that's a good thing. We don't really want to have to do that, but if we have to, then we have to. Now then, what I'm going to move on to now is performing the 12-volt fan mod. Now, in the video for the 360 Type S, in the video where I detail how to perform the 12-volt fan mod on the Generation 1 and 2 360s, I had pre-modded systems. This one, brand new. Unmodded, you're going to get to see how to do this, and this is how you do it on the S, which is the Generation 2, and also on the E, this one, which is the Generation 3. What you do is, you look for this cable here, zoom in real quick, so you can see it hopefully. Got things in the way, fold these out. I am pulling these out because I need to. You do not need to pull these out because you will not need to. No. Alright, so we've got this cable here coming off of the fan. Goes down, tucks around, comes across here, and goes to this plug right here. So what we do is we gently grip and pull straight up, and it releases. Now then, how do we actually perform this mod? Well, we've got 4 cables here. You've got black, red, yellow, and blue. Now then, like I said earlier in a previous video, the blue wire is a governor wire. This wire right here is what keeps the fan slow, okay? So, to do this mod so that it's reversible, we come in here and you will see these teeth here. All you do, hook in behind it gently and bend it down forwards. Very gently, just bend it out of place, okay? And then you gently grip the blue wire and pull it right out. After that, we bend this tooth back into place, otherwise it will not fit back into its plug, okay? Now with the blue wire released, we need to make sure that it gets taped back so that it does not come in contact with its contact inside of the plug, and also so that it does not make contact with anything else on the motherboard. So we bend it back, and then we take some clear non-electroconductive tape. This is packing tape that I'm using because I don't have any heat shrink wire or scotch tape or electrician's tape available to me right now because this was done on such extreme short notice. Gotta make do with what you got, or at least what you have available at hand. And all we do is we make sure that this contact is relatively center in there so that it's not got a lot of room to wiggle. Just tape it down and we just wrap it on up. Just like so. What this does is it prevents that connector from coming into contact with anything at all other than that tape. Okay? And this ensures that the fan will spin at its maximum capacity. Afterwards, we just see these two teeth here, and then we take a look at the board here. You will notice right there, this is its plug, you'll notice a notch there. And we've got these two teeth, this notch up here, notch there. Line it up and plug it in. There it is. Nice and easy. Now then, zoom back out here. Right, that's in. Now, at this point in the video, you have just opened and then cleaned, following the same instructions for the Xbox 360S as far as cleaning is concerned, because this really honestly is the exact same animal on the inside. It is. There is genuinely no major differences, at least not many major differences, between this motherboard and the 360 Type S motherboard. Other than a couple of things to do with the power socket and the lack of a couple of USB plugs on the back. Otherwise, virtually the same motherboard, exactly the same heatsink, exactly the same fan, exactly the same hard drive bay, exactly the same hard drive connector. Now then, we're going to go ahead and reassemble it now. What we're going to start with is a hard drive connector. Only because I had to pull it out so I could get it out of the way for you guys so that you could see it. I'm just going to plug it straight back in. Hopefully you did not pull it out. If you did pull it out, you are wrong. And if you message me saying, help, help, I pulled it out, I'll just say, watch the video and look at where I pulled it out from and put it back into the correct place. Now then, next, put in the hard drive bay. Gently lift your wires, because they're going to go over this bar here. And set the hard drive bay into place. Just make sure that you get it into its correct post holes. It'll wiggle just a little bit. There you go. Next we bolt down the DVD drive connector with its bolt. And when putting the DVD drive connector back into place, pay attention carefully. There's these two posts here, and the word on top that says top. The word on top that says top means that that's the top of it, and that means this side up. Now then, these two posts will line up with two posts here on either side of this two post holes here on either side of this central post, which prevents it from wiggling too much when you go to plug in a hard drive or pull out a hard drive, so that it doesn't bend or break anything and get anything damaged. So go ahead and put that bolt back into place to secure it. Make sure we tighten it all the way down. Make sure we get it finger tight all the way down and not grizzly bear tight. If you try and get it grizzly bear tight, you can break something. Next, go ahead and put in those two bolts that we took out earlier that released the hard drive bay from its place. And we're going to track down this post hole here, or this bolt hole here. It's marked, and it's this guy right here. So go ahead and we put that bolt in. There it is. And then we put in this other bolt. And it's giving me issues. Okay, there we go. Just had to get it aligned correctly, and there we go. Bolts in place. Too easy. Alright, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here. For putting the secondary bolt in, you look for plastic post, bolt hole, and it's labeled right here with a B6. Okay, Bravo 6. Now let me zoom right back out. And next, the DVD drive. Go ahead and gently jimmy it by hitting that mechanism. But we're not going to pull that tray out any further. What we're going to do instead, because that's just preparation for something else later on, to get the case's front on. Now, we'll just take the cords and connectors that are inside there. Go power and communication. Plug that in. Just like so. There it is. And then the SATA, which is the data cable, and we plug that in just like so. Set it down. Make sure that we've got it aligned correctly with its foot posts, holes here and here. Leave it be. Next after that, fan cowling. Now then, what do we put in the fan cowling after we put everything else in? Now the fan cowling's a little bit special. Can get in the way occasionally, but it's easy to put in. So once we've got that in, we have to make sure that this post right here, because it's got a little plastic tooth that goes through the board, we have to make sure that we wiggle that correctly into place, and that plastic tooth is right there. Okay. So there that is. Next, top portion, make sure you line up the fan grate, which is right here, with the fan itself. Set it straight down on top, gently. In front, make sure that with the circuit board, there's going to be a bit of the heat shielding that's going to go behind it, okay? Do not try and hook that in front of that circuit board. If you do, you're going to break something. And I'm not going to help you fix it, because you did it to yourself. Alright, now then. We got that down. Flip it over. And we put our bolts back into place. Goodness. C3. C1. C2. C5. And C4. I've got another phone call. Hang on. And we're back once again. Alright, now then, we've got all of our screws in place. So we go ahead and just tighten them down again, make sure that it's just finger tight, not Godzilla or grizzly bear tight. Because if you try and make them that tight, you're going to break the plastic of the case and therefore break your Xbox. And we don't want that. So just make them finger tight. They don't really need to be tighter than that, because they weren't tighter than that beforehand. So, let's go ahead and do this, like so. Alrighty. Next, go ahead and take that bottom panel, and we go ahead and set that in place. Now when we're putting this one on, we need to align these tabs, okay? Do that, and just gently settle it in place, push down, there it is. Snaps in place, perfect and beautiful. Next, go ahead and put the front on, because the front is a little bit tricky because of the nature of the front of the Xbox 3, of this new version of the Xbox 360. What we're going to do is we're going to do it upside down, because ribbon cable, that's why. Now then, first step first is we just gently come into the side here, get this DVD tray around on it, Let's go ahead and pull that out just a little bit more. Give ourselves some wiggle room, literally. Go ahead and wiggle it in place, and there it is. Next, you're gonna have to reconnect this ribbon cable, which is easy, because its connector is right here. Let's go ahead and zoom in there. So maybe, hopefully, you can get a good view of this. Alright, so remember, the ribbon cable has a little bit of sticky on it. So you're going to try and hold that off of the board as you do this. And getting this back into place is a little bit tricky, so we go ahead and we lift this up gently like so. And it's not exactly going to plug in too far, it's just going to more sit in there. But it does actually plug maybe about 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/16 of an inch more like. Go ahead and fold that plastic down and then clip that in place like so. Then we can go ahead and come in here with the sticky portion. Stick that there if you want. Not really necessary, but you know, aesthetics for everything. Now then we go ahead and lift it up gently and then massage the faceplate into place. There it is. It is now in place. And you totally didn't see that, and I apologize for that because I didn't zoom out the camera. Anyway, once you've got that plugged in, you just kind of massage gently and press gently while massaging gently to get the faceplate in place. And then we close the DVD drive. Next, the wireless adapter. Remember how the wireless adapter was plugged in up there? Well, you're going to plug that right back in, just like it was plugged in before. Which is not too hard. If you manage to get it backwards, you've got problems. Go ahead and make sure we keep the bolt on it, because getting the bolt back in there is kind of tricky. Get that finger tight. There it is. Now, last but not least, the cow rings. Now on the 360 Type S, if you'll remember, 2 tabs designated the back. So what we do is, hi John, so what we do is, we go ahead and we align those 2 tabs in back, press it down gently in place. And it will snap down in place, nice and easy. That was John, director of the USO over here, or at least director of the Grafenwehr USO. Alright, so that's in place. Next we flip it over. Make sure you line the hard drive bay opening with the hard drive bay itself. So we flip that around and we gently press and massage that into place. And once it stops wiggling and jiggling and making snapping and popping noises, that means we're done. After that, if you had a hard drive, just go ahead and throw the hard drive back in there. Boom. Like so. Or if you didn't have a hard drive, take the hard drive bay cover and just put that back in place. There it is. Okay, so that concludes the Xbox 360 Generation 3, or Type E, if that's what you want to call it. I hope this video was informative. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comment section below. Like I said earlier, this one really isn't that hard. I actually kind of do prefer the Xbox 360 S to this one, because in my opinion the S is a lot easier to get open and there's a lot less of a chance for damaging the case on the outside, because on this one, like you saw earlier, I had to come in here with a sharp instrument and press to get this thing open. And the potential for the urge to come in here and then start wedging it around is very great. If you end up doing that, I guarantee you're going to gouge the plastic and make it look really ugly. So in my opinion, on the S, all the gouged plastic that you're going to end up possibly gouging is all on the inside, and it's not on the outside. So at the end of the day, if you do gouge something while opening up the S or the Generation 2 360, nobody's really going to know. So on this one, you know, on this one, Microsoft just wanted to slim down the Xbox 360 a bit more and give people a legacy system to play with, which is fine, it works, you know, it's another 360. I have no real issues with that. Like I said, my only issue is maintenance, you know, and how much damage there is to possibly be done during maintenance, because that's my big thing. All right, that's the end of this video. Have a good day.